In this lesson, we'll be creating the interaction between the text and the logo mark. Okay, so we have a little bit of a problem just by copying and pasting the keys from our first letter to our last. And you can see that all of the letters that had that lower descender on the P's and the Y have gotten this strange alignment where they look like capital letters. But we can fix that really quickly and easily just by scrubbing past the animation, selecting the letters in question, just shift selecting those, and then pulling them down. And you'll see that they'll actually snap into place because of those rulers that we created. Now what I can do is go down and I'm going to actually hold shift to snap that key onto the final position key that was part of the group. And then I'll just come over onto the first key, hit Control C for the one I have selected, and then Control V to paste it again on top of that first key. So I'm just looking at this final P, and you can see that now that looks great. So that one goes up a little bit high, but no higher than some of the other letters do. So really no higher than the H goes. So I think that's fine. If you don't want the P to go quite that high, you could tell that middle key maybe to pull it down a little bit. It's up to you, but I think it's an easy fix. So again, I'll just repeat that by grabbing that key that was written when we pulled it down, holding shift to snap it into place, then coming on to the first key for that group, hitting Control C to grab that selected key and Control V to overwrite that first one. Same thing up here. Here, and here. Okay, all fixed. Let's see how that looks. Great. And I even like that the P's go a little bit higher because it's really going to emphasize that that little flower is going to get catapulted into the air. So that's what we're actually going to work on now, is how do we make this flower look like when this P gets to about right here, it jolts it high into the air and then it lands back in the middle of the composition. So what we need to do actually is pre-compose that flower again because we still have our flowers and leaves separate. So I'm going to unlock those, shift select the leaves and flowers, hit Control Shift C, and we'll call this flower mark. Okay. And then what I want to do is find that same frame where the P looks like it's just about to hit the flower right there. And we'll set a position key for the flower. So select it, hit the P key, and we'll hit that stopwatch. Then let's figure out how long we want that to stay in the air. Probably until right about here, so it has plenty of time to go up and then land in place again. So we'll get that intermediate keyframe figured out here in a second, but this is where it's going to land is what we're figuring now. So I'll just select that and pull it up and into place. And you can either estimate where you want the middle of that to be to look balanced, or again, you could grab the whole logo before we did any edits, just maybe bring it in from Illustrator and then put it on top so that you can just align the things together. That might be easier for you. Okay, so right now it just kind of flies up in the air and stays there, but I want it to look like it actually got hit. So right in between those two keys, I'm going to pull it up much higher, like way up here. So it's going to skyrocket and then come back down. Now right now that does not look very appealing as far as an animation goes. It just kind of hits it, it goes up and comes back down. It's all at the same speed and there's not even any rotation. So first let's figure out the speed of it. I'm going to go into my graph editor first, and that's going to help me to really change the speed of this. So I can do that, but first let's even give it a kick start by just easing those keys. So I'll select them all, go to animation, keyframe assistant, and choose easy ease. Then we'll go into our graph editor, and you can see that again, that X position isn't changing. We really only need to change our Y. So I'm going to separate our dimensions. Now you'll notice that this changed a little bit in the position that that's going in, and this is the value graph, not the speed graph. So I just kind of smoothed that out a little bit, but I want to actually come over here where it says choose graph type and options, and when I click that, that's going out of your view a little bit, but you can go down. And right now it's set just like right here, right below this option here, it says edit value graph, which is what we're defaulting to. You want to choose the option right underneath that that says edit speed graph. So when I click that, you can see how the speed looks. So it really quickly shoots up, which makes perfect sense. Then it starts to come back down. Now with this easy eased, it already looks a lot better. So just hitting the 0 key to kind of watch that through, pop, it hits it and then comes back down. But we can make that even a little bit more extreme if we want to. And what we can do is kind of start to pull out those handles. So by pulling these, you can see how it's going to give us this look where it comes up, really starts to lose momentum, and then comes back down really quickly. So probably you want it to look something like this, almost like it's an EKG. So now when we pull this through, you'll see how it loses a lot of momentum and then comes back down really hard. Very, very nice. So you can see how the line in the middle, not a lot of movement, but over here on the sides, a big spike. And that just really helps to solidify it. You got hit, and then it's coming back down. And if you wanted to, that might not even be long enough for you. You may want to make this have a longer duration. You may think that that looks like it comes up and down way too fast. If you want to add a little bit of time to it, but you don't want to try to pull this one over, then get this one back in the middle, you can simply select all your keys and hold Alt, and from whatever side you're pulling from, it's going to automatically redistribute that for you. So you can see how it's moving all of those. Very nice. So let's just watch that through. That's a little bit better on the timing for me. Okay, so I still think this needs a little bit of rotation overall to really help it look better. So let's come back in the next lesson and add just a little bit of rotation to the flowers as they go up and come back down.